Welcome to another episode of Prioritize. They accomplish while you drown in lists. It's difficult to juggle your responsibilities. Husband, father, brother. It goes on, but your energy doesn't.
You pondering what I'm pondering?
Prioritize what's right for you, not what's left behind. This is Prioritize with Toby Baker.
You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Greetings, gentlemen and ladies. This is Prioritize. Here we discuss prioritizing faith, family, relationships, and more. I am your crazy white, formerly fat host, the Baker Boy himself. Welcome to the show. A few things first here before we dive right into today's podcast. The Home Depot Experience podcast is forthcoming.
Sure, you say this every time.
No. Honestly, it is on its way. I'm trying to decide whether or not I'm going to put that behind the paywall or just leave that up for everybody. Or, putting that behind the Patreon membership.
Oh, Patreon. Very nice.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are working on official Patreon pages because we're so on the times.
Oh, sure, you are like hipster dude.
I know. I get it. It takes me forever to get things done. It takes me forever to record the podcast, get it out there, send it out for everybody. In fact, I was just in, and this kind of relit the fire. It wasn't that the fire went out or that I just haven't been doing anything. We actually have been working together with the boys on finishing the Butlers Pantry. Finally, we got it done. Took a little longer, and I don't know, maybe it's like this for all dads. I wanted to spend more time with the boys actually building it, but they be some grown folk. They got their own lives, so I got in what time I could, because the whole idea wasn't just, hey, I really want to build something else as another project to tack onto my endless list of to-dos and tasks and what can I think of creatively to do next, or at least put on the page that eventually I'll say, you know what, I ain't got time to do that. The idea was I'd like to build something with the boys so that after I'm long and gone, they can point to this thing and say, built that with our dad. So the Butler's Pantry is done, finished, looking pretty good. It's in there, and I'm in the store. I was in the frozen food aisle. What was I? Oh, I know. We were going to do grilled pizza because I had this long day, and I wasn't feeling like cooking, and Joyce wasn't feeling like cooking. And she actually, she had a flat tire. So I'm on the way back home from the office and was trying to get to the grocery store anyhow. And she sends me this. I was actually I had to make an additional stop. So I was coming from Sam's Club. Not that you asked.
Oh, no, please. Your stories are so fascinating.
All right. Ease up. I finished Sam's Club. I'm on the road. I had to make another stop at a local grocery store to pick up the grilled pizza, the pizza that we were going to grill on the grill that night next to the bonfire, and then just kind of, chill because it's been a long week, right? You ever had one of those really long weeks where you just want to sit outside and not do anything for a couple of hours, maybe just stare off into space? It was that kind of a Friday. She shoots me a picture. Hey, this is what my tire looks like. Oh, good. I didn't have it scheduled on that day for my wife's tire on her Jeep to go flat. But nevertheless, there it was, ladies and gentlemen, another opportunity to rise to the challenge. So, okay, we got that done. And I was in town, so I stopped by the frozen food aisle at the Walmart, and lo and behold, I see Bob.
You saw Bob?
I saw Bob.
I don't know Bob.
Everybody knows Bob. What, are you kidding me? You know who Bob is.
Nobody knows who Bob is.
Everybody knows who Bob's awesome, right? Everybody knows who Bob is. Bob he's got the magic voice, and like me.
Told me he does not have a voice like you.
No, well, okay, he doesn't have a voice like me.
Good. We only need one of your voices in this world.
Terrible voice.
Lord help me.
Okay, ease up. Right, so Bob's a good guy. Everybody loves Bob. He's like, hey, when's the next podcast? I'm like, shoot. There's just been so many things. It's been hard to prioritize getting back into the studio. But alas, here I am. Thank you, Bob, for asking. Shout out to Bob. Appreciate you listening, man. And it was good to see you again. Been a few weeks. Glad to know you're still upright, able to take in some frozen good nourishment. The pizza wound up spectacular, by the way, if you were asking.
I was not asking.
That's okay. If these other people were asking, like, oh, John says nobody was asking. All right, fine. I'll just move right along. Grilled pizza. So to grilled pizza, you put the heat on the one end of the grill, and then you put the pizza on the other, right? And let that permeate the heat, it ruminate within keep the cap closed on the grill. And then at the last minute, slide it right over, turn the heat up, and get that thin and crispy action going. It's so good. Right, so the Home Depot Experience podcast is coming up. That's probably going to go behind the Patreon membership, as well as the first chapter of the audiobook. And check this, we got a second chapter of the audiobook in the works, working on that, trying to get that recorded. Again, it's one of those, takes forever kind of tasks. I don't know how many hours in the studio. So for the new Patreon, we don't have the walls up yet, the Patreon page is up just yet. We're working on how that's going to look. They're probably going to do some video content and definitely some shout outs to the Patreon subscribers, and also do some extra episodes for our Patreons. But it's all in the works. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I sincerely appreciate your listenership. I appreciate the questions you guys pose and ask. You can DM those to the Instagram. We're on Instagram. Where's our Instagram? At the Baker Boy himself. All right, that's me at the Baker Boy himself on the Instagram, on the gram. Sorry, didn't mean to use the full name. Dead naming Instagram. Now it's called the gram. If they even have, maybe it's just TG. Is it just gra? Do we just say gra, bruh? Because nobody says brother anymore, right? It's brada. It's just bro. I don't know what it is. Moving right along. Going to be another minute before I get back to the studio, taking a quick trip to Key Largo with the wife. Never been down to the Keys. Pretty excited about that. And I will, of course, have some notes upon return, probably some very good life reflection that, if you're interested, I would be ever so glad to share with our prioritizers. Speaking of Butlers Pantry and wood projects, in my studio, I've got a beautiful handmade bookshelf out of barn wood and industrial piping. It's a custom-built bookshelf I made myself. And, I didn't used to be a woodworking guy. I wouldn't walk. I could never build that. I could never make that. I don't know if maybe I shared this on another podcast and I don't recall. I hope. I don't know. I guess I'm just going to be repeating myself at some time, so hopefully and prayerfully you just kind of hang with me. I didn't used to be a woodworking guy. I didn't have a bunch of woodworking tools. I didn't have the knowledge. Of course, there wasn't Pinterest. There wasn't always Pinterest and Google and ChatGPT. We had magazines that you could look at, carpentry, and it still doesn't, I don't know, it didn't show me how to do it. And maybe my fervor for the warmth of wood, like my wife really enjoys my wood. She likes the wood projects that I have all over the house now, from the bookshelf that's in my studio. We just finished also, this was so good, a bar rack. You ever built a bar rack before? Oh, that was some of it was fun, some of it not so much, but some of it was a lot of fun. It was cool seeing the whole thing come together, the different staining, the different industrial piping that we have on this. And here's a brief message to the prioritizers. Maybe don't speak things over yourself of which you are probably very capable. Like, you might be very capable of being a woodworking guy if you didn't speak over yourself, oh, I can never do that. Or I'm not a woodworking guy. Or I'm not a tech giant. I couldn't possibly figure out the Twitter X, formerly known as Twitter X. No, it's X now, formerly known as Twitter X. Or the Gram, TG, Insta. No, Insta, I can never do that. I can never figure out Canva. I can never, maybe if we stop speaking these things over ourselves, we wouldn't be putting ourselves in a prison. Because if you keep telling yourself these limitations, eventually your brain is going to accept it until it doesn't. And it breaks through that little glass ceiling that you've spoken over yourself. And you can finally achieve that thing and say, you know what? I can lose that last 10 pounds. I can build something out of wood. I can follow instructions. I can bake some bread. I can learn to be a tech guy. I can try to market my own business. I can start my own business. I can write this book. Maybe we stop putting these glass ceilings over ourselves. And instead of, what was this phrase? I heard it recently and I said it recently. It was, I can't, therefore I must. I can't do a wood project. Therefore, I must do a wood project. And you know what? My first wood project sucked.
You can't say sucked on podcast.
I can't say sucked on a podcast.
No, you can't say sucked on podcast.
That's stupid. I've never heard of such a thing. You can't say sucks on a podcast.
No, you could say sucks, just not suck.
So you can suck plural, but not suck singular?
Exactly.
Okay. I don't understand, but moving right along. It was my sophomore year of high school. Mr. Shirky was the wood shop teacher. Unfortunately, he did have all of his digits still. And he casts out this challenge. He says, you're going to make something out of wood. Choose what kind of wood you want to use, and then choose what you're going to make out of it, or the other way around. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make an entertainment center. Have you seen an entertainment center before? You know what those are? They used to hold media and stuff and televisions and video cassettes. If you're not sure, either you can chat GPT it because it was like 30 years before 2021, right? That's the cutoff for chat GPT. Or you can go to an antique store. I bet they have video cassettes there as well as video cassette players. And I thought, man, I'm going to build an entertainment center for my parents. Which ended in complete disaster, made out of walnut, and it was simply an oversized jewelry box. That's how bad it was. It went from being a full-size entertainment center, which would have held, I think the largest TV that the folks had at the time was a 30-inch CRT box style, maybe a 35-inch. I'm not sure if they had one at that size, but at any rate, that's kind of a mishap when you're going from an entertainment center down to a walnut jewelry box. It's not good. Alas, I just stayed away from all things wood projects for a couple of decades because I thought I suck at this, and I did. I'm obviously not the best at it now, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm good with the quality that I'm seeing now, juxtaposed some of the quality of the other projects that I've seen, some of the other store-bought bar carts and bookshelves. And I look at some of these and I think, I can make this at home. I'm going to go ahead and make this at home. It's going to be better, stronger. It's going to look better. So, yeah, I'll just make that myself. I have this beautiful hand-built bookshelf in my studio made of barnwood and industrial piping that I would not have. I wouldn't have the barnwood if it weren't for this guy I met several years ago by the name of Isaac Packnett. You see, he invited me into this world of audiovisual, and I didn't know anything about it. At the time I was working with Powers Automotive, I'm thinking I'll probably cut this as a separate podcast, some of the backstory. But Isaac Packnett, this super cool guy, and he's got this, not a quick-witted humor. Sorry, he's got a mind like a...
Oh, I know, Jello trap.
Well, I was going to say like a steel trap, but we'll go with Jello trap. But he's really good at kind of breaking through challenges and overcoming hurdles and finding the side door to the problem. He's really good at this kind of thing. And he brought me into the audiovisual world, showed me around, did a lot of traveling with this guy kind of as my mentor in the business, and became really quick friends. And we shared just a lot of laughs and a lot of good stories. And he owned a wedding event venue in Fremont, Indiana, and they're getting ready to do a bunch of changes. They wound up selling it, but he says, "Hey, Toby, you want some barnwood?" Yes. I'll definitely snag some of that barnwood because barnwood is expensive to come by, hard to come by nowadays. And it would look phenomenal on all these projects that I've been kind of just bouncing around in my head, like a bookshelf and a blanket ladder. Don't ask what this is. And a TV stand and a bar cart and on and on and on we go, right? Then he says, we're going to be moving. I'm like, what? Whoa.
Back that truck up, buddy. What is happening?
Exactly. I'm like, Isaac, what did we just say there? Yeah, so things changed. They moved to Iowa. And, man, that's just, that was tough, you know, because he was a good friend of mine. One of those guys that I met through Isaac, amidst many, there was his buddy Randy. There was John, the other John, old man Johnny Lang, Johnny Lang's brother. What was his name? All they did on the projects, they just kind of go back and forth. It sounded like they would bicker the whole time, but it's just funny to listen to. And old man Johnny Lang, it seemed to have a story about being in an audiovisual situation for everything. You could be hanging upside down on a ladder, terminating cable, and he'd be like, you know, I remember doing this back in Russia back in 1946. So he seemed to have just a never-ending ripple of stories and content. Phenomenal people in the industry. And one of the guys that Isaac introduced me to was this guy, Jim Adore, James Glenn Jam. What do I call him? I don't know. I just wound up calling him James. And, he's such a cool character. He's like everyone's favorite brother. He's the guy you enjoy talking to because he's like interested in what you're saying. This is such a rare commodity today because the conversations that I monitor or I get into, a lot of times they're just waiting for their turn to talk, or they're so disengaged with you. They're getting their phone out. Excuse me, I just got a text message. Oh, I got this phone call. And they don't know who it is. Hi, this is John Doe. Who's this? You just took a call from somebody. It tells me I must be boring.
Oh, finally you'll get the hint.
I'm trying to talk to somebody. I'm looking around the room. Is there anybody else here I can talk to besides this loser? You ever get that feeling? Like the person you're talking to, they're not really interested in what you have to say. That hurts. That sucks. Sorry, that sucked.
Nope, improper English. Go back to sucking.
Sorry. Okay, so that sucks. And this guy, Jam, I call him James. He's just, really? What? Tell me about that. What happened then? Like, what color did that wind up? Oh man, what'd you use on? He's very engaged in what you're talking about. It could be a project you're working on, an experience you just had, but he wants the colors, the sights, the smells, the sounds, the feel of it all. It's like he wanted to be right there in the arena with you. He wanted to be, and on that project with you. And I just love the engagement there because it's so stinking rare today that people, they don't care. It's this 2-second conversation and then I got to go, man. See you later. That's so shallow. I'm 46 years old. I don't have time for those kinds of conversations and relationships. I don't prioritize that anymore. You don't want to be friends with me?
No! Now you get pictured.
I'm when talking to you.
Oh, sorry, my bad. You go on ahead.
I was going to say, you don't want to be friends with me. That's fine. We don't have to be friends. I'm just not going to chase that down. And that's a hard lesson that I had to learn because I thought I needed to be friends with everybody. Like, there's this new person. Maybe we could be friends. Maybe we could be best friends. We'd like hang out and do stuff. And then you get the hand like, all right. I guess that's not happening. I mean, it kind of stinks to discover that they don't have room in their life for you. And that's part of life. It, something that you got to learn, that I had to learn going through it. And now I realize that there's certain friends or acquaintances rather that'll never be friends. There's certain friends that I prioritize, in that relationship, and enjoy learning more about what's going on in their life, their struggles. How can I pray for them? How can I encourage them? How can I empower them? What kind of words of wisdom can I pass along? Because they're interested in a friendship. There's others who are not interested in a friendship. So I don't pursue that, man. I just don't have that kind of time left. There are boundaries that are set. Henry Cloud has a pretty nice book out. You may want to check it called Boundaries. And there's a healthy way to set those up to where you are not engaging anymore in sponges that just suck the life out of you. And when you leave their presence, you are so drained, you got nothing left. You can barely make it back to your house, let alone carry on a good conversation with someone who's going to, fill you up with some fuel, some energy. You walk away like, man, that was so good. I can't wait to hang out with those guys again. I can't wait. And that's how I feel about hanging out with my wife. I'm so excited. We're going to Key Largo. I've been able to spend the whole weekend with her here. I was out on a project this last week. Really difficult. So very difficult. And I don't know. I used to be out and about and worked in a nonprofit organization for several years. And we were going to camps and we're doing overnighters and we're doing all these things away from my wife. And when I don't remember if I told you about this. She had to go and her mom had some issues, so she was tending to that. And then at home, I just felt so stinking lonely. I was like, dang it. This is what she had to go through all those years? That is...
Don't say sucks. Don't.
I was going to say terrible.
Oh, okay. As long as you don't say the suck word again.
She went through all that, and I was dumb to it all. I didn't know, and now she's dead, and I have such a yearning, man. I love spending time with her. I can't wait to go to Key Largo. It's going to be good quality time, and I just want to encourage you in your friendships and relationships. Like, dive deeper with the ones who want to grow that relationship, and stop chasing down the ones who just don't care. Cut your losses, live a little lighter. So these great guys that I met, they were out here in the area, and then they're like, we got to go. Kind of let the air out of the balloon. It's a part of life, and I get it, and I'm not upset at anybody. It just leaves that little open wound there, and it stinks, and things move on. I'm sure you've gone through this before. Maybe you've had to leave friends behind. Maybe you were the friend who was left behind, and they've kind of gone forward. And, well, recently I held a birthday, kind of turning the page here. Recently I had a birthday. How do you describe this thing? You ever hosted an event and you're not quite sure how it's going to go? So I was hemming and hawing about whether or not I even wanted to host the thing because I was excited. I was watching stupid. I know. But can I use this as an example?
Oh, go ahead. We still say stupid.
I was watching this show. I didn't finish this show because it's not for me. But there was this show called The Family Stallone, I think, with Sly Stallone and the whole family. And he was coming home for a big birthday party, and they got, his friends there at a big restaurant, and there's cigars, and there's this grand layout. I mean, it looks spectacular. And I thought, I wonder if I could throw something like that.
You didn't.
Oh, I did. I sat there thinking, okay, that's it. We're going to do this thing, and we're going to do it up right. It wasn't at a restaurant. It was at the house. And I started, getting the invites, sent those out, and started seeing it. I mean, you've been there before, right? Have you ever hosted a party or an event, and you're hoping all these people come, and then there's certain people you were sure would show, and then they didn't. It's like, oh, that's a thing right in the side. Okay. Oh, it's a gut punch. All right, that's fine. I understand. Life happens, and we get up and we move on and we move forward. So I was kind of getting You know, it's the day before the birthday party, and there's several there's several people that I had invited that, and I wasn't seeing the responses. I'm kind of getting down on myself. You know, I'm like, this was a dumb idea. Why did I even put this? This is so stupid. This just flat out.
Don't say it.
It's not happy. That's what this is. So flat out not happy. I'm an unhappy fat guy, formerly fat guy. I'm an unhappy fat guy.
Formerly fat
guy. Anyway, I'm in the garage. I'm working on this the bar cart, which turned out, I mean, just sweet. Really, really cool. So happy about it. I'm working on it, and it's not finished yet. And I'm working on the leather top. I'm trying to get the angles right. I'm working on, the rest of the beam of the wood to holding the bourbon and the glasses and the cigar tray. And there was something I had to go into the kitchen for. I can't remember what it was. And I'm walking into the house, and Joyce says, "Hey, you better get the door. There's a couple of pizza guys at the door." And I'm like, "Oh, Giordano's? What?" I am thinking in my head, did my wife just Uber eat Giordano's to the door? That's going to be so expensive. So well worth it, but so expensive. Do we honestly want to do it? Okay, all right. I mean, I was so excited that she even thought of that, because we were both kind of tired. We weren't going out to eat. We weren't going to go grab food anywhere. It was going to be one of those, let's see what's in the fridge or the freezer and let's put it together. And oh my word, Uber Eats is right at the front door and it's Giordano's. This is amazing. And I'm walking to the front door and I'm like, they got 2 Uber Eats guys? This doesn't make any sense. And I open up the front door, and there's this super tall guy, and they're wearing masks. Can we please, with the mask? Are you kidding me?
What kind of mask they have on?
Oh, shut up. You know exactly what kind of stupid mask they had on. It was a nice, prissy little white mask, though, that they didn't get sick.
Oh, do you make fun of masked people?
No, I'm just so sick of seeing the mask. They were messed up. There was a tall guy and then a midget, and I couldn't figure out.
You say midget?
Sorry. Little midget.
There, that's better.
So there's a tall guy in this other. I'm like, wait a minute, there's 2. What's going on? And he stands there, and one of them says, "This will be $143.50. What? Like, at Uber Eats, they pay, everything goes through the app. Like, even I know that.
This is a price.
And then I'm standing there like, oh my gosh. James and Isaac just drove all the way from Iowa, and they picked up Giordano's Pizza, which is unbelievably the best pizza. And I mean, there's Giordano's, there's Lou Malnati's, there's Buddies and Jets Pizza, but oh my word! I was standing there beside myself. I could not believe it. I was so excited. They just drove 2 states over for the birthday. They just drove, and my wife knew about this, didn't say a thing. And I think, wow, you kept it secret. This is such a huge surprise. I was blessed. I was kind of getting emotional. I was in, oh my word. So like for the next half hour, we just had a big laugh over it. I couldn't believe they drove 2 states. Don't talk to me about you couldn't make it, you ran out. No, it wasn't a priority. I get it, fine. But let's be honest with each other. If I don't make it to your thing, it's probably because it wasn't a priority, right? You don't make it to my thing, it's because it wasn't a priority. Okay, it's harsh, but I got to accept it. I can choose to get pissed off about it.
You can't say sucks. You can't say pissed off.
I can't say anything on this podcast anymore. I can get upset about it, but that's probably not your fault. That's mine. I choose my own reaction. I can't choose what happens to me. And likewise, neither can you, right? People show up to your party. They don't show. Life happens. What are you going to do?
Well, I have idea. We could shoot them and bury them.
Nope. Not going to happen. All right. These 2 guys, these friends of mine from, years back that I just so enjoyed their company and their friendship and their humor. they're here at the party. They brought in the Giordano's. My wife had picked up a bottle of Maker's 46. Oh, very smooth, very smooth. We had a bonfire going. It was one of those nights you don't want it to end. We had Rocky Patel vintage 90s all around. And hey, we just shared stories. Man, we shared stories and laughed. You ever done that recently with your friends? With all the turmoil going on a daily, hourly, maybe even a minute-by-minute basis. Just take a moment, hang with your friends, share some laughs and stories, and whatever your drink of choice might be. A Coca-Cola Classic, lemonade. No, I would say Pepsi, but nobody drinks Pepsi.
Nobody drinks Pepsi.
Nobody drinks Pepsi. This is true. Throughout the course of the next couple of days, man, they're just there, and they're like, all right, what can we do? I'm like, what are you talking about? Hey, we're here. What can we help with? I thought, this is crazy. They wanted to work at the house. And the ironic thing was, I just picked up 2 ceiling fans that I was going to watch a crap ton load of YouTube videos and then cross-reference that with ChatGPT and try to figure out, how do you hang ceiling fans properly? And they're like, yeah, we've done a million of these, so let's go ahead. So they throw those up. They fix a light that had been out in the boys' room for years. We pretty much finished everything on the bar cart. I'm trying to figure out how it was just like one thing after another and they're just knocking them all out of the park. I thought, what an amazing blessing the whole weekend had been. So on his way out, this guy, Isaac, tells me, hey, my birthday is coming up here in a few weeks too. And I'm like, he's like going to be 65, 66 years old. Something like that. Maybe not that much. And he says, I'm going to throw a birthday party. Now, this from a guy who doesn't like to even say the word birthday. Never had a birthday party before. He's never hosted one. He's never did anything birthday. I would call him on his birthday to wish him a happy birthday, and he would kind of, yeah, whatever. Like shake it off like it's not a big thing. Didn't want anything to do with birthday parties. And now he's having a birthday party. He's like, you guys think you could come and help me celebrate? I'm like, yeah. We're packing up the bags, and then in a few weeks later, we're packing up the car, and we're hitting the road on a Friday over to Iowa. I didn't even know people lived in Iowa. It's out there. It's like Montana, just not as far away and not as many trees and mountains, and there's stuff to do in Iowa. Like you can count the trees if you wanted. And there's people out there too. Nice people. We arrive at his house, a beautiful home. He's got a nice 3-story home, and we walk in the door and he's got a shaved lamb on his countertop. And I'm like, oh, hey, you don't walk in on one of those every day. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness. This just got real. A shaved lamb on a countertop. He's got seasonings all over. He's rubbing it down with butter. It looks like a bad scene from a 70s kind of a...
What does that?
You know what? We don't have to go there. Let's just move on. There's stacks of food at the ready. We're all excited for this thing. Apparently, we're going to be putting a lamb on a spit grill for a few hours the next morning. We get up at 5 a.m., He's got a few other couples there. They're all, we're all hanging out by the fire that had been running for a couple hours prior to us even getting up. And they already got the lamb on the spit. They're turning this thing in a circle. And we were out there till like 1, 2 p.m., maybe even 3 p.m. There's food everywhere. There's people coming and going. And it was just so neat to see this guy who doesn't even celebrate his birthday prior to have these people stop in, wish him a happy birthday. And they prioritized it enough to show up, to be there. And it was just so great. We had this jam session. Everyone brought their instruments in. So I'm on the...
Oh, let me guess. You are the guitar?
No, actually, I don't play the guitar.
You're on violin?
No, Not on the violin. I was actually on the vocals.
That is good. No, really, what did you do?
I was on the vocals. So I was singing, another guy was singing. They had James on the guitar. I was on the drums for a bit, and then I switched, and Isaac picked up. What did he do? He did another guitar. I think he did bass. Isaac was on bass guitar, and it just a cool. I mean, we're just kind of bumming around different songs and picking a song, and the Piano Man. Okay, then we're all doing the Piano Man, and doing Tom Petty. All right, we're all doing the Tom Petty music, and there's people dancing and having a good time, and man, just really good memories, good stuff that you have with your friends, and it's not always like that. Like, you don't always have those kinds of moments that crystallize the friendship, that stay with you for life or longer. And why do I bring all this to you? Why do I put this in your ear? And why am I talking about all this in your head? And because I'm guessing you're a smart listener. You can always make more money doing another job, working more overtime, doing more stuff, finding or building more stuff or buying more stuff, because they're always going to make that till the rapture. They're always going to make that stuff. You can't always make more time. And on this podcast, one of the things that we prioritize is relationships. So I want to encourage you this week, reach out to some of your friends you haven't talked with for a while. And don't do the instant messenger thing. I mean, if that's all that you got in terms of contact info, then yeah, by all means do that. But honestly engage. Don't reach out to 50 different people and then carry on these 2-second, 140-character sentence type exchanges where you're just waiting for your turn to talk. But get actively engaged in the life of your friend. AT&T used to have I think it was AT&T. Their saying, their motto, their trunk line was reach out and touch someone. They don't do that anymore. And if you said it today, it would be all sexual, and that's not even where I'm going. I'm saying, like, reach out and talk to somebody. Reach out and talk to some of your friends. Make it a priority, because tomorrow is promised to no one.